Right, welcome back. It's been a long week, but here I am. I'm just about to start my weekly build. Right, before I start on this, I've got some mail, so I'll open it now. We'll have a look who it's from. Okay, so Dave.Designs or dave.g.designs. Thanks, Dave. It's a little note. Hey Richard, thanks for the sticker and yeah, that's right, mother of pearl. Mother of pearl inlays. I want to try and think of something cool to do with them now. Thanks. Keep up the good work, Dave G. There's his sticker. He's actually, I think you see that, a bit bleached out actually. Right, so Dave G Designs. Let's whack it up. There you go, Dave. Thanks very much. And I've got a couple of spares, so one will probably go on the lathe with Big Boy, John Clothier, Pam Harris, and Taste the Code. So if you want to send me any stickers or you want to do a sticker swap, if you can send a couple, if not, it's fine, one can go on the board. If you do send a couple, I'm not going to stick two on the board, but I'll stick another one on the lathe, because then, I don't know, you get more exposure, I suppose.
Not that many people view my videos, but still, they're there close up.
Right, thanks Dave. Right, so this week's build is a gas bottle. Is a gas bottle barbecue. Now I've made loads of these over the years, and every single time I make one, someone wants to buy it off me. People keep saying, why are you not making barbecues, gas bottle burners, you know, garage and workshop burners? I just haven't got around to it yet, but I was thinking this one, I'm going to make the video for you guys so you can see how it's done. It's not hard, but also the money from this, when I put it on Gumtree, is going to pay for my microphone for my GoPro. They're about 50-60 quid. So like I say, YouTube doesn't give me any money, so I've got to find other ways of supporting this this hobby. So anyway, first of all, you would not believe how dangerous gas bottles can be. Don't go cutting into gas bottles unless you really know what you're doing. Just local to me, a few years back, there was a guy in a metal, well, a place where you take scrap metal, and he decided he was going to make a burner. He cut into it with an angle grinder and blew himself up and killed himself. These are really dangerous. I can't stress that enough, really. What I do to make them safe is I make sure they're completely empty. You're never going to get all the residue out of there. If they're out in the sun and things like that, every time you turn them on, even though it might be empty, you'll still be able to see fumes coming out of it. So I do that, and then I take the tap off, and then I completely top them up with water, turn it upside down, rinse it out, and then I'll top them up again with water, right until the water starts spurting out, and then turn up again and then leave it to dry. That makes it safe. It does still smell a little bit of gas, but not gas, it smells of the gas fluid, because this is fluid, but I think that's what's impregnated and stained the inside of the steel, maybe, I don't know, but it's definitely, now it's safe enough to cut. So the first step is to cut this off because we don't need this. Cut the bottom off because we don't need that. Once they're gone, we're going to cut it completely round the whole peripheral of it. Now normally what I'd do to make a gas bottle wood stove is I'd cut a door in here, but what we want is that to be able to open up. So we're just going to go right the way around and cut it. I think I better get my leather apron on, don't you think? Right, so there we have it. It's we've cut that off. We don't need those bits. Next step is to grind these flat because we want it nice and round, top and bottom. We'll get all these off, and then we'll mark it up and cut it. Right, so we've got our line marked. It's just, if you've got an old strap, it's a lot easier because you can strap it round and then adjust it to where you're happy with, and then mark it and just cut on the line. Easy as that. Would you believe I've just nearly cut this whole gas bottle and the camera wasn't even on. I thought because the red light was on there that it was recording, but it's supposed to flash when it's recording, so sorry about that. You didn't see much of that, but we're going to finish it off now, and I know it's recording. There you go. We have our two halves. Right, let's show you what's going on now. Right, next step. I'm going to clean all these edges off because they are razor sharp. And then later on I'm going to light a fire up outside and burn all this yellow paint off. That's the easiest way to do it. Quite a few times now I've sat there with the linishing disc, keep trying, you know, linish away to get all that paint off. It's pretty tough, and then you end up with all these horrible marks all over it. We are going to spray it when it's finished, but you kind of still see the grinder marks come through the paint. So that's it for today. Well, not for today, for now, and we'll put a fire on in the garden later, and then move on to the next stage. Sorted. Right, welcome back. Day 2 of this build. I reckon you could knock one of these out in a day, no problem at all. But I didn't start until late yesterday anyway. And then I wanted to burn the paint off it. So the paint's gone. There's still a bit of crust on there, which is easy. I'll just scrape that off with a wire brush. Right, before welding hinges and handles and things like that and the grate, I like to get the frame done first. If you can imagine putting this together and trying to weld hinges, it's going to roll and things like that. I'd rather get it on the frame so it's nice and sturdy, and you can kind of get a better feel of where to put hinges and handles and things like that. So I like to use recycled as much as possible. I think we all should do that. So the actual frame is going to be made out of some old steel. I mean, let's face it, old steel, new steel, as long as it's not rusty and you ain't got holes of rust going through it, still it'll do the same thing. You just got to clean off the old paint for welding, and you know, if it needs it, just to brush down, ready for the paint to go on. So I want this barbecue to be about 3 foot tall. I think that's kind of an average height for someone just to poke their barbecue tools at. So I'm going to cut these 4 at 3 foot, and then I shall brace between them with some smaller pieces. Right, shall we get on with it? You're probably looking at this lot behind me. See it all? I think it's about time I cleaned my workshop. What I'll do is I'll have a build frenzy, and then I get to the point where I start to lose tools. So that's when I think better have a clean up. It's not that bad, it's been worse, trust me. Change of plan. What I'm going to do this time, which is slightly different, is I'm going to drill through the actual gas bottle itself. I'm going to mount them on the sides, drill through, bolt it, and then weld the bracket across the bottom. That's what I'm going to do. Right, so that's the first part of the frame done. I just wanted to share something with you to save you wasting or potentially wasting money like I did. So this is the Clark 102 NG turbo. Now, it's quite a cheap welder, no more than a couple of £100. I think it was 160 odd when I bought it about 4 years ago, something like that. It's not a bad welder, but you pay for what you get, if you know what I mean. There's so many times it's so frustrating where you're trying to weld, it drives me mad, and sometimes you're pressing the trigger and no wire's coming out. It's a MIG welder, so you've got a spool of wire, and what that is, now if there's anyone out there that's got this same machine and you're having trouble, I've figured out what it is. See the way the what would you call it, a hose? I don't know. Anyway, so the way this comes out of the machine, eventually it starts to wear and it drops like this. The actual hose drops like this, and when it does, it traps the cable inside and you can't get any welding wire to come through. So what I have to do normally, it's not so bad there, I've just used it, but I have to extend it about 500 mil, you know, just over a foot and a half for it to come out nice and straight. So if you've bought one and you're having that problem, that's what it is, it's trappage. Anyway, so the first part of the frame's done. I'm going to bolt that up now. I've got to put some cross braces in the opposite way now, just to stop it from moving that way, if you catch my drift. Anyway, I'll crack on with that.